Hi and welcome to the Cult TV Sofa. This is a reaction video for the 10th episode of Season 3 of Babylon 5 called Severed Dreams. Last time we saw things spiraling out of control on Earth after President Clark declared martial law. A general contacted Babylon 5 command staff with a message from General Haig saying that they are now on their own. Garibaldi let G'Kar free from his captivity, and he went to rouse up his people on the station. Londo issued an invite to the wife of the deceased Centauri Emperor to visit the station, because she's a seer, and he wanted to check if his visions of his future would come true or not. He hoped not. Another general contacted the station to tell them that the Night Watch were taking over security, and that the order came from the political office. Martial law was declared on the station by order of Earth, but not before violence had already erupted. With Zack's help, all of the Night Watch were rounded up and informed that as the orders had come from the political office, they were actually invalid, because they didn't go through the chain of command. G'Kar offered fellow Narn to help with the security on the station, whilst their security numbers were depleted due to the Night Watch being locked up. The Emperor's widow gave her prophecy that Londo would be Emperor, but so would Via, making for a pretty uncomfortable time later on. Also, G'Kar wanted to be let into the inner circle for the War Council. So let's see what happens in this episode. I'm going to put any relevant trivia that I find over here, and at the end of the reaction I'll be discussing what happened and my thoughts about it. And I'm going to start it in 3, 2, 1.
Ever since the Earth was put
That guy looks annoyed.
Everything here has gone to hell. You have to keep an eye on them at all times.
He's going to turn around. Yep.
Identicard.
Back
I am not getting a confirmation on your identicard.
of the queue.
Right, now you listen to me.
In a moment. Meanwhile, we have many others coming through. Please step aside.
This never would have happened if the humans hadn't started fighting with one another.
Well, no, it wouldn't. The Alexander, is that the ship that General Haig was on?
Major, we have to jump. And leave our fighters stranded out there? No, we can't jump with them.
If you won't jump, then you've got to let me open fire with the aft batteries. Forward interceptors on the Clarkstown are down. We can punch through the hull.
God, that's a tough decision to make. One shot. Couldn't they have fired to
Did you ever meet the captain of the Clarkstown?
disable?
Haig introduced me to him last summer. He has a wife back home.
I'm sure many of the crew did.
That's what makes this war different from anything we've ever gone through before. This time,
You know the enemy.
we know everyone we kill.
Well, not enemy. Yeah, that was wrong. You know who you're fighting against.
We need time to make repairs, catch our breath. There's only one place safe for us. Set course for Babylon 5.
I was trying to think of something funny to say. I couldn't think of anything. I knew they were going to say Babylon 5, but I was trying to think of somewhere else to say, but went blank. God, if you've been attacked by one of your own ships, who you believe are in the wrong, and they believe you are in the wrong, yeah, firing on them, and then, well, do you leave your Star Furies behind, your fighters behind? They could have jumped away, but you didn't do that. That one shot took out... I know they said their screens were down. That sounds like shields down. I don't think they had shields. Let's just say they were weakened at the front of the pursuing ship. And one shot... Granted, it looked like a fairly powerful beam and it was consistent for a few seconds. Destroyed them, though. Still think they could have... I don't know... Maybe target somewhere a little less primary, if he was that worried about it all. He went from, I don't want to attack them, to kill them straight away.
I just received a narrowband transmission from the Alexander. They're coming here.
Well, we're screwed. I need you to put a cutoff switch in the comm system. The second they get here, shut everything down.
Oof. That's going to draw attention in itself.
Why didn't you just bring him to MedLab?
We can't allow anyone else to see him.
He has spent the last 6 months among the League worlds gathering information. And the NAR's at all of the customs areas. How do we know which of them we can trust?
You don't. But I do.
He's everywhere.
Can you carry him very far?
As far as you like.
Xavier Montoya, head of the Mars Provisional Government, announced today that he will not implement the martial law order given.
So Mars is standing up.
So far, Earthdome has had no official response to this act of open defiance by Mars, except to say that they are considering all options.
That sounds ominous.
The cutoff switch is in place and ready to go.
Jump gate activated.
Activate cutoff.
Sheridan to Garibaldi. Kill it.
Confirmed.
May I have your attention?
You might have noticed that ship.
Now, if anyone has a problem
Yeah,
with
it's
this,
anyone.
you're free to leave the command deck.
This is where they'll see where people's loyalties lie.
They're as loyal to Earth as you are, and we will render humanitarian aid to them.
Surprised not one person's left.
As much as our humanity got us into this.
He'll get us out of it. I did expect a couple to leave. It would have been a way of showing us that some people are loyal to Earth, some people, there's still that confusion about
The
it all.
shadows are moving in the non-aligned worlds and urge them to go to war with their neighbors.
So they all fight amongst themselves, whilst the shadows build up their forces, and then they'll be able to attack a weakened, all the weakened races. Whereas if everyone comes together as one, and that'll be a huge force to fight against the shadows. And they know that, and that's why they're doing this.
Has the Great Council been informed?
The Grey Council has said the problems
And not ours. Very short-sighted.
General Haig was killed in our last firefight. Between this and what's been going on back home, the crew is just stunned.
Yeah, imagine.
Shock troops are out in force everywhere. Paris, London, New York, Moscow, New Delhi.
Swansea.
That's the irony. Most of them have welcomed martial law. It's cut crime down to nothing.
Well, yeah, if you do anything, you get killed.
ISN is walking a fine line. They know if they push too far, they'll be shut down.
We just intercepted a coded message from Earth Force Command. They've started bombing Mars.
Yeah. Not letting it go. Well, I've said this, they attacked a domed building then. I don't know what the scale, but obviously they haven't terraformed Mars. They're still reliant on oxygen, so they have domes and they have breathing apparatus still. So yeah, attacking a dome like that would let all the air out, and it's not the explosion that would kill people, it's the lack of oxygen that would kill people on a huge scale. And that's mass murder.
Jakar, thank you for your help. I think you are no longer quite the same person I met when I came here.
No, he's not. Oh, that's an ominous change in music. Who's this?
It's the Churchill.
Good. Major Ryan's been waiting for her.
So they're becoming like a hub for all of the coup ships.
The colonies at Orion 7 and Proxima 3 have just broken away from the Earth Alliance. Clark doesn't want this information released, but we have to go with this now because I don't know how much longer we can stay on the air.
So they've been limiting the news. President Clark, the Earth government have been restricting the news. So the Mars has publicly said that they will stand up to the martial law, but it looks like other colonies have been as well. But that's been restricted information because they didn't want to appear weak with all the colonies going against Clark. But they've actually, if I can say this, seceded, pulled away from Earth and set them up as standalone colonies. That's huge. That's a much bigger thing than what Mars has done. But yeah, so it looks like some of the news guys, they're standing up to it as well. They aren't allowed to say what he's saying. There's going to be big trouble now, but yeah, they're being honest about what's happening.
I can hear gunfire now, up here on the 14th
They've
floor.
already sent soldiers.
Clark's afraid of losing the other colonies, so he's sending his elite forces to seize direct control of any colony or outpost that might move against him.
No, that'll weaken him, though. Sending multiple small forces to all different colonies will weaken his control around Earth, though, and chasing down ships like this.
We better pull out before we jeopardize Babylon 5 further.
Major, the ships receiving the attack order were already on their way here. So those ships are under orders to seize command of Babylon 5.
So yeah, it's too late.
If you think it would be any help, we could try to jump, maybe draw some of the fire away from Babylon 5, give you a chance to negotiate.
It's kind of gone beyond that, yeah.
So we have only two options.
Surrender or fight.
We fight, or we surrender. If it was just us, hey, he pays you money, he takes your chances, but it's not just us.
It's not just Earth, it's the whole war with the shadows.
I say fight.
Fight.
But we've seen the station defense. Oh, crap. We've seen the station defenses hold up against... Oh, what ship did they attack? A Centauri ship. But it wasn't an easy battle. How would they stand up to one Earth ship yet alone? Looks like there's a few of them come in. I mean, there's the White Star, and they bring that in. I get that they wouldn't want to because it would show their hand, but things are pretty much on the line here. They have to win this battle. I don't know.
Doc, if you have got any patients that can be moved from MedLab,
Get them out. Yeah, unfortunately.
see if you can access Drawl's holographic system in Epsilon 3. I have an announcement to make.
So he's going to try and hologram himself for the announcement rather than use the communications?
In Balin's name, I will tear this ship apart with my bare hands until I find them. Move aside.
That did it. Surprised she was even allowed to dock, though.
You say the words, but your hearts are empty. Your ears closed.
Let's go through the motions.
If the warrior caste will not fight, then the rest of us will.
Insult the warriors, try and get them riled up.
Between the worker caste and the religious caste, we control 2/3 of our forces. We move now, together, or not at all.
So she's spoken directly to the worker caste and the religious caste. As they, I'm not sure all of them, looking at the numbers, but a number of them are followed, which means that the Grey Council's now no longer complete, because half of them at least have left, so...
Hi, Dad.
John. Well, this is a surprise.
I thought he was dead.
I can't really explain on an open channel, but...
Son, I follow the news. Well, I did until ISN went black.
Yeah.
What was the first lesson I ever taught you?
How to tie your shoelaces.
Never start a fight. Always finish it.
So, anybody comes for us, they're going to have quite a fight on their hands.
Oh. Yeah, they could use them as a well, at the very least a bargaining chip, but they could also take revenge out on them. They could kill his parents, take his parents. Oh, that's horrible. But that could really happen. That's tough for Sheridan to know that his actions could cause something to happen to his parents. Oh.
I'll talk to you when I talk to you.
God, that sounded like a proper goodbye, as if you'd never see them again, which is likely.
You're online. Go ahead.
May I have your attention, please? In the last few...
That's never been seen before by the people on the station.
As of this moment, Babylon 5 is seceding from the Earth Alliance.
Oof.
Till President Clark is removed from office. At the end of this current crisis, anyone who wishes to leave for Earth is free to do so.
At the end of the crisis, which obviously it would have to be, but that means you have to trust that all the soldiers, all the fighter pilots, all the command staff, everyone, is gonna back you. What if they don't? It could sabotage things and all sorts. That's a huge thing.
Well, we're in it now.
Yeah, just a bit.
All right, anyone who wants to leave, do so now, before you violate any regs.
Right. Some have. Well, one has.
You okay?
I think so. It's kind of a surprise, but yeah, I'm okay.
Good. Request permission to join Star Fury Squadron. And one of us should be out there with them. One of us has to be.
My immediate reaction was no, she shouldn't. She should be on the station. And if something happens to him, need her to be able to take command of the station. But her argument was actually quite compelling. One of them should be out there with the fighters after what was said as well, that some of them might be uncertain and might not fire and might even turn sides. Her being out there would give them a boost. So yeah, okay. Very risky though, being a fighter pilot in a big battle. Very dangerous.
This is Captain Dexter Smith of the Earth Alliance destroyer Agrippa to Babylon.
It's a lot of
5
ships. Renegade ships.
This is your only warning. If you do not surrender, we will be forced to initiate deadly force.
Well, that's a rubbish tactic for one thing. Both those Earth ships, the Renegade ships, are right next to each other, which makes for an easy target. They need to be, well, one should be on one side of Babylon 5, the other, maybe even the other side completely. That's a terrible strategy. They can just all focus their fire in that one location and hopefully hit one of them at least.
Leave while you still can.
They've broken contact. Enemy Star Furies moving on attack vector.
There's your answer.
Babylon control to all Star Fury squadrons. Stand by to attack. But do not, repeat,
Don't fire first.
let them fire first. We won't start this fight, but by God, we'll finish it.
That's what his dad said. Oh, what's that? That's an odd-looking ship.
Entering firing range.
Close blast doors and activate the doors.
I would have done that as soon as they jumped in.
Enemy fighters coming from the side trying to outflank us.
Reset forward interceptors for long-range dispersion fire.
I would have thought those guns would be very capable of picking off fighters.
Bring us in closer to the enemy.
How close?
Right down there.
We've got a breaching pod coming in.
We gotta cut them off before they hit off the ground.
Oh, so that's what's that. Right. So I said there was a funny looking ship. It's a breaching pod. So I'm assuming there's loads of soldiers on it. It attaches itself to the hull, burns through, it'll create a seal so that they can then access the station and take control of the ship, or at least take out people. And as Garibaldi then said, they need to get there quick to try and get them ideally when they're coming out, because that's the best time to get them, because they'll be coming through a very small area. But if they get there too late, when all the soldiers are out, it'll be harder to take out. Plus then the soldiers can, again as Garibaldi said, need to get them before they can disperse, so they can then go out and attack and sabotage the station. So yeah, that makes perfect sense. No, I thought it would have been a bit more... Oh. I always think of the hull as just the hull and that's it. But there's more than likely going to be layers of hull, which I think this is what is being implied here. I thought that when they attached, they would have come through directly there, but they've actually come through a few layers earlier, and they've been breaking through the layers by the looks of it. And that final explosion was to get into the main part of the station. That's actually quite cool. The Nana there as well. Why are you all running like that? Hide! There's all those boxes. Hide behind the boxes and shoot. That's just a slaughter. Oh, coming at them as well at the Whoa! It's a good job that thing that comes down worked. Would be a logical place to attack the Fae front. Take out the commands and controls. Oh, ram a ship. Oof.
We're in range. Fire!
For my calculations, is that ship and another 2 large ships.
Your ship is out of control. Surrender and let us take on prisoners. We promise safe passage to...
Too late. I didn't completely blow up though. Hopefully still survivors.
It's a good thing this stopped when it did. We couldn't take much more. Oh, no.
Oh no indeed.
You are ordered to surrender and prepare to be boarded by order of President Clark.
Jump points forming right on top of us.
I mean, they're barely taking what they've currently got, yet alone the reinforcements. But they have their own reinforcements. Oh, and they have got the White Star.
Babylon 5 is under our protection. Withdraw.
So was it the White Star and 3 Minbari cruisers?
Only one human captain has ever survived battle with the Minbari fleet. He is behind me. You are in
front of me.
Value your life. Be somewhere else.
They value their lives. They have played their hand now, though. Shown the White Star with the Minbari on it, with Delenn on it.
All ships, return to base.
Well, surely all ships look for survivors. There's going to be Star Furies that are damaged with people that need help. There's going to be... Oh, that's good acting. I mean, that the Roanoke, I can't even pronounce it. Obviously severely damaged, but it still could be some survivors on board.
Take it easy, Chief. Just take it easy. There. Put your weight on me.
I mean, that's not the battle over. Like they said about clearing out the med bay, the doctors and medical staff are going to be working for days without... Franklin's going to be taking a lot of stims, let's put it that way.
At least 30% of our Star Furies are destroyed or disabled. It's not likely
Probably
we'll be
more
getting
than
any more
that.
from Earth for a long time.
No, unlikely.
The launch bays are damaged. We can't hold many more. You could give them a home here and bring your fighter squadrons up to full strength.
That works out quite well.
I didn't know her very well, but I'd be honored to take care of her crew.
Yeah, makes perfect sense. Well, although I should think that the big ship has probably, the Alexander has lost a lot of crew. I'm sure that they could probably do with a few extra to replenish their supplies as well, and stocks of the crew specifically, not the fighters. I suppose though, if you're a fighter pilot, what else are you going to do?
If we split up, it'll give them less incentive to concentrate their fire here. And there's still some ships out there who've signed on with us.
That's partly true, but you're only the station and one ship. It's not like they're going to split much of their forces to go after one ship. They could probably send 2 or 3 ships after them and then everything else after Babylon 5. So it's not a huge thing splitting up. Probably would be better to be in one location for a while at least.
I think you're forgetting something.
No, he's not.
After what happened today, I don't think I can wear that for a while. Not with a clear conscience.
It's like we saw in that previous episode. He doesn't want to wear the uniform whilst going up against his own.
We started shipping people out. Night watch mainly. We got all the ones we know about, but that leaves all the ones we don't.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a problem with sabotage for a while.
Exactly. Absolutely.
It seems that this is the only home we have left. How could I abandon, as you say, my partner?
So she's no longer welcome on Minbar? Ooh. Awkward.
I'm fine. I just thought there's something you should see.
Oh, what now? All the people who agree with what he's done. That's why he did it. Wow. Well, pretty powerful episode. We know the problems they've had with the special effects back then. They sometimes pushed episodes back a little bit because it took a while to get the effects done for them. Dread to think how long it took them to do this one. That's got to be the most special effects they've had in any episode so far, I would say. I mean, that was epic in scale. So, the Minbari ships that came through, are they representative of the Minbari people, or are they ships that Delenn managed to scrounge together, basically? So have the Minbari sided with Babylon 5, or is it just Delenn and some ships that have sided with Babylon 5? I don't know about that. Because obviously it's a huge thing if the Minbari have sided, because that would give Babylon 5 a lot of protection. When that Major was talking about leaving Babylon 5 space to create more targets, I was going to say, well, why don't they use Babylon 5 as a base? He's gone to find other ships that are out there. Bring them all to Babylon 5, repair, and use it as a hub. But I stopped myself from saying that because actually in that circumstance the Major was right, that bringing everyone to the one location would make them a big target. Earth could get all their ships together and go for a full assault and wipe everyone out. It's just the one ship and Babylon 5 together, I don't think that makes much difference, him being there. But I suppose it does make sense on him going out and finding the other ships, so it does kind of work. Initiate some repairs to them, build them a little fleet, I suppose, as you go around. So it does make sense, I suppose. Just as original arguments didn't. Yes, we saw the Narn fighting alongside the humans, that's a big thing. Obviously, the remaining Narn. It's not, again, Narn as a population fighting. Yeah. Big episode. So Babylon 5 has, again, I have trouble with this word, seceded from Earth temporarily. He said until the crisis is over, which makes sense, but it means that they're on their own. What about supplies? Can they survive on their own indefinitely? I don't know what they would need. I would assume the station would have to be as self-sufficient as possible. In case of emergencies or something happens, they'd have to be able to survive for a long time. But can they? I suppose they've got air being recycled. I assume recycled water, food. I assume they grow a lot, but can they bring in their own? But I suppose they do have, well, the Len, her resources. Maybe they can get extra supplies that way. It was nice to see David standing with them when he's when he saw everything that was happening. I think Sheridan's speech about Earth helped because he is a loyal Earth officer, David Corwin, David Corwin. Can't completely remember. But yeah, that was again nice to see him get a little bit of the limelight. And yeah, at least one person walked away. I would have thought more, but it was good to see at least one go. Well, obviously it's not good to see one go. It was realistic to see one go. As I said earlier, and Sheridan said, now they've got to be careful for who's there undercover. They're getting rid of a load of people off the station who could cause trouble, but there's going to be a few they can't get rid of or haven't got rid of. So yeah, sabotage and all sorts of things could happen. That's going to be a problem for a while. Yeah, no, really good episode. Really good battle scene. I mean, the effects were really good. But Babylon, the space around Babylon 5. I mean, it's going to be. We know what problems they had when the that one Minbari ship was blown up in season 1, I think. There was debris all over the place. I mean, this was multiple ships, Star Furies, all sorts. I mean, that's a huge cleanup job. So that's going to be a nightmare. I wonder if we'll see any of that next episode. We did for the Minbari ship. We saw the cleanup operation the next episode. So yeah, again, with their limited resources now, how are they going to be able to cope with that? So yeah, I'll try and remember to keep an eye open for that in the next episode, because that'd be interesting to see. Yeah, well, let me know what you thought about this one in the comments below, and she'll see you for the next episode. Be seeing you.